tutorial, we're going to go over how to customize your header on Google Classroom. Because of the limited face-to-face contact that we have with our students for the foreseeable future, we want to make sure that we're providing our students with any kind of outlet that they have to be able to reach out to us in case they need someone. And because of that, we are going to create this universal template that we're going to use in our Google Classrooms that's going to have this message within all our Google Classroom headers. Now, in our staff classroom, you will find that under staff shortcuts, you will be able to find the link to this Google Classroom header template. It's going to force you to make a copy of it. And you'll also be able to find a link to this tutorial video as well. So once you make a copy of this template, this is exactly what you're going to see. There's only two things that we need to make sure that we never touch. One of them is the fact that this is sized just exactly as you need it to be able to create the template in Google Classroom. So please make sure that you do not resize this back image. And then finally, this text box down in the bottom, this text box needs to be on your template at all times, and it needs to be visible. So whatever you may do to the background of your template, you're still able to customize it, but we need to make sure that this text box does not move and it's always readable by the viewer. So once you have your template, you can go ahead and start to customize it any way that you like. You can right click on this, and this is going to allow you to adjust your background. So for example, if I wanted to go ahead and change the color of my background, I can go ahead and do that. And now my background color is a different color. I can also go back in and customize it even further if I wanted to. So for example, if I wanted to change the way that my gradient looked, I can go ahead and do that here. So let's say I do that, and I can change the way that I want it. But once I'm okay with it, I can press OK, and now that's my background for it. So I definitely suggest that you do something like this with either adding colors or gradient style and changing the colors of the background, as opposed to putting a whole entire image on the back. First of all, when you bring an image, it should be very high quality, high definition image with a large number of pixels so that it's bright and clear when you put it into Classroom. But then it's also going to have to be resized to this exact size so that it fits correctly. And then you need to make sure that the text is viewable. So I suggest, rather than bringing in a large image that'll take up the whole thing, if you want to bring in smaller images, I rather that would probably work best than trying to fill this whole entire spot with the perfect image. One other thing that you can do as well is that you can bring in your Bitmoji. If you have your Bitmoji, then that's something that you can bring in. You can just click and drag it over. And so that's another way to customize your Google Classroom heading. If you have any kind of class logos, I can bring in images that I have within my computer that I'm saved or within my drive. So for example, I know we have our class logo for DIY, so I can go ahead and bring that in, and that becomes the center of my header. I wouldn't put in too much over on the left-hand side, because this is usually in Google Classroom where you're going to find the title of your class, and it's going to include the class code. So there's a lot of writing here that appears in your Google Classroom already. So any images on that side would kind of be blocked anyway. So the left-hand side should probably be left empty anyhow, because of the fact that there's going to be writing that's going to show up when you import this into Google Classroom. So let's say I have completed my template for my Google Classroom header. The next thing I would do is that I would go to File, Download, and I'm going to download this as a PNG. And now it's downloaded into my computer. So now when I go into my classroom, I can go ahead and select upload photo. And once I do that, I can just easily click and drag that over. And so there's my file. So I'll take this and I just have to expand it over my whole entire image. And once I do that, I can select that as my theme, and then it shows up. It's going to have this gray overlay that is just a default action for Google Classroom, but there is my created default, my created template, and there is our universal message that we want to make sure that shows up into all of our Google Classrooms. So you can do this for each of your classes. All you need to do is just make sure that you download it as a PNG, and then you can upload that image. Once again, you'll be able to find the link to this template as well as this tutorial video is available in our staff classroom under staff shortcuts. And the video is also going to be available on our Tech Squad website as always. Thanks for watching.